All right, and I'm live, and I'm Doug Branson. I'm the host of the Locked On Hornets podcast here on the Locked On Podcast Network. And this is all a test. If this were a real emergency, I probably wouldn't be on here. It would be David Locke. But instead, you get Doug Branson, Locked On Hornets, and I am attempting to see how all of this live technology works so that we can get more of the Locked On hosts onto this live broadcasting because, especially on the NBA side, we don't have a ton of live action to talk about. So we want to get some live streaming on here instead. So I'm here testing this. I want to play some sound effect here to see if I can get that to play over the live stream. I heard it in my headphones. Hopefully, anyone watching live heard that as well. So again, I'm Doug Branson. I'm the host of the Locked On Hornets podcast. While I'm here streaming live, if you do have a question about the Charlotte Hornets or about the NBA or about sandwiches, you can really ask me anything. I've got the chat pulled up here on restream.io. So hopefully that will show me any type of chat messages that come up from the different live streams. But yeah, interesting times in the world, interesting times in the sports world, interesting times to be a fan of NBA basketball. I was just having this thought the other day that I didn't get to mention on the Locked On Hornets podcast today. Will there ever be another flu game? Right? I mean, we had the famous Michael Jordan flu game. I don't know that we're ever going to have that again because, I mean, we have to talk about the implications of this whole crisis around sports. And I just wonder how seriously we are all going to take players playing with any kind of risk of infectious disease. I mean, I think back to the time post the AIDS epidemic with Magic Johnson, and there were all of these rules in place, and still are, about how the trainers are able to handle players that are bleeding, and the game has to be stopped, and we have to pull that player aside and make sure that there's no blood on the floor or anything like that. And I just wonder if that's going to be something that leaks its way into this crisis as well. If there will ever be another flu game, if players are even allowed to play, if they are feeling unwell, if they are running a fever, will they have to pass some kind of screening moving forward? I think those are all, so many questions exist around things right now. So I am going again. I'm Doug Branson. I'm the host of the Locked On Hornets podcast. If you're joining this live feed, you can ask me questions on the Charlotte Hornets, on the NBA, on sandwiches, on anything while I'm doing this live stream. This is actually kind of a test of our live streaming capabilities so that I can help other hosts do this throughout this, what's looking more and more like an extended break for sports and for the NBA specifically. I want to get some more NBA hosts and maybe hosts from other sports as well doing these live streams. So in that effort, I'm going to attempt to share my screen. And that worked. Okay, great. I don't know if this screen will actually play audio, but this is the 1992-93 playoffs first round, Celtics versus the Charlotte Hornets. This is game 4. This is, for Hornets fans, will know this game very well. This game, spoiler alert, ends with Alonzo Mourning hitting a shot to win the game. One of the greatest moments in Charlotte Hornets franchise history. It represented their first playoff series victory. I'm going to play this out and just see how this looks if I stream it. Look at this classic game action. And if I full screen this, what does that look like? Okay. That looked pretty good. So maybe some game rewatches in the future. I don't know. That seemed to work well. Okay. That's going to do it for this test of the live technology. Thanks to everyone who watched. You can listen to Locked On Hornets on the Locked On Podcast Network, iTunes, Stitcher, Overcast, wherever you get your podcasts. We do a fun show. We obviously talk about the Charlotte Hornets right now. We are simming the entire rest of the NBA season, but we're not doing it all at once. We're spreading out the joy, and we're doing it as the days progress. So join us on Locked On Hornets. We're doing that. We're doing a lot of other fun stuff too. We are very prepared for a world without sports because we like to talk about generally anything. So join us, Locked On Hornets. I'm Doug Branson. Until then, see you later.